Hey everyone, welcome to Reverse Homesteading. Just thought I'd show you another little glimpse of my Granny Smith blossom. They're so beautiful. I guess you've seen these a lot if you watch my channel regularly. So the little bees and creatures are there doing their pollination thing. I might get my little paintbrush out later on and do a bit of that myself just to give it a bit more insurance. But yeah, these are first year. All of my fruit trees are first year ones that I've espaliered. I've got little fruit forming on my Moorpark apricot and my Sweet Sensations nectarine. Obviously have blossoms on my Granny Smith apple. Don't think that will happen for my Pink Lady apple. It's just probably what people call a first year whip. It's had trouble over winter because it kept its leaves. It had bright green leaves in winter when I purchased it, so thinking I may not do that again. It was the last one. I was having a lot of trouble finding my hubby's favourite apple. But it's alive still, and it's put on new little growth buds for leaves where it lost leaves due to, I think, a little bit of frost damage, and we had a lot of wind over winter, which is not always normal. Storms, yes, but not always super windy days. I thought I'd add something to what I've said before about my Stella cherry. With the leaves coming out and no blossom, I thought, oh no, maybe they're green blossom, but I'm pretty sure it is a Stella cherry and it's not an ornamental one. So the problem probably is that it's too young to have fruit. I have had one that size that did have fruit. It had about 12 cherries the first year I planted it, but maybe I'm just expecting too much because I've got fruit coming on 3 different other fruit trees. My Lappin cherry is probably the same. It's probably, at a guess, I'm not a fruit tree expert, but I'm guessing with a decent trunk and this grafting area here, it's probably a couple of years old. But 2 to 4 years is often how long you have to wait to get cherries from the time it started with a graft. So whenever they take the rootstock from one cherry tree and get a branch from another cherry tree so that it's disease resistant in the base. But that's the other thing I was going to show you. Here's our grafting area, here and below. So that's the other part of the tree. That's the graft, the scion, they call it. And these are just on the graft. So I'm going to rub these little leaves off in case branches decide to follow, because you don't want anything shooting from the bottom, because then you will get the cherry tree that they chose for vigour and not too many diseases. You probably shouldn't do this. You should probably, I thought they'd come off more easily. You should probably use sharp, clean, probably sterilised secateurs, but there you go, that's the way I've done it. Just take anything off that shoots in this bottom part of the plant, because you don't want to get a branch that will never fruit, and the poor tree will be supporting something that will never fruit. So there's a little tip. I thought I would show you my composting section here and what I'm about to put into it. So this one I'm not using yet. This one is just a cheap one I got because they had umbrellas in it at the hardware store. This is my active bin. I'm doing it this way because rats and mice and things and possums would love to get into my compost. I usually just do a heap on the ground, but I don't know, this place has so many critters. It's like up north in Queensland. I usually have a lot of success just with a pile on the ground up to about that high and a black plastic thing over the top. So I'm keeping out rats and possums and mice because we really don't want those issues. I've started this when I took a lot of leaves off my brassicas probably 3 weeks ago or so. So it's starting to do its thing. Probably needs a little bit of what they call hard carbon, a little bit of sugarcane mulch or some sort of dried out grass that doesn't have too many seeds in it, and that's my bin that's the furthest along. So it helps to have, 3 or 4 piles, heaps, however you're doing your compost, to get your very own amazing mix to put on your garden to get it super healthy, along with little worm castings for the first time, because I've got a worm farm for the first time ever. This is the product of hubby really wanting to reorganise our kitchen. Just sort of collected teas that we weren't especially fond of over time. So I cut the bottom of the tea bags off with scissors and some nice dry tea leaves to go in there. This is actually mint tea, so these are herbal teas, and the ones that are a bit clumpy and wet, they're actually used. So that can go in there. Don't put too much of one thing in at once is basically my general rule. If you like 1/3 filled that with tea or something, it would be too much for whatever pH tea has and that sort of thing. This probably doesn't matter, but I'm just going to add half. This is 2023's, into this year. So I've mixed up the packet of lemon verbena for tea. So I'm not going to use that much. I already have a lemon verbena plant established here, so it'll be prolific once I get to summer. I already have a little canister from this year's. Maybe I'll put half in there because that's just about broken down. Yeah, I'll do half. Still smells so good. Just shake it in there. It'll help because it's dry, and this section over here needs a bit of moisture. And what I do, I put the lid on and I roll it around for a bit after it's got everything in there, and it mixes it up really nicely. So what else have we got here? We've got obviously some carrot tops from the carrots I picked yesterday, and some eggshells. Eggshells take about a year to break down, so I usually don't put them in like this, but we've gone through quite a lot of eggs recently, and I usually dry them out completely and then grind them up in a coffee grinder, and that makes a nice powder that goes onto the garden bed and gets absorbed really quickly. If you want to get it absorbed even better, you can change its makeup by baking it in the oven, but that makes a sort of a slightly sickly meringue kind of smell, even though you wash these out, which my hubby can't really tolerate. So I just dry them out and either crush them up in the compost like I'm going to do today. I wouldn't put it in the worm farm, they're a bit sharp, and I don't know if that's a problem or not, but I just think little worms might find that uncomfortable. And that'll break down over a year or so, and it's just really not going to matter, because I don't really have time at the moment to dry and process all of these eggshells. So I'm just going to put them in the compost like that. And I should probably chop up these greens, but I'm not going to because I don't need to, and I'll just do the rest of this later. So the smaller the items are, the faster they break down, so maybe I'll go get my secateurs and I'll wet probably both of these at the moment, and once it gets up to over halfway, it makes it harder to mix it by rolling it around. So then I stop and let it compost down a bit and add more dry matter if it needs, or more water. And then that mix is probably a couple of months off. So by the time I get to the warmer weather every day, it'll really be ticking along quite quickly. So that'll be fantastic to get it onto the garden. Alright, so I've chopped up some of the ingredients in there, and they'll compost down a lot faster now, and everything's in that one that we need. Obviously this one's empty, so I'll give it a bit of moisture, not too much. This one's a little bit dry, so with the weather getting warmer you'll need to add water to this a bit more often, and I might just add some sugarcane mulch to this one. I'll just put a big handful of sugarcane mulch in here for now. We'll see how the other things break down and how the water distributes there. A little bit more water because it's warmer weather. It's 24 as a top today, so that's pretty high for spring. Although, well, pretty high for so far this spring. It's not crazy high. So I've only just wetted that down a tiny bit, and I'll roll it around and see what happens. Make sure the lid's on really well. Pretty sure that's good. And this lid, kind of like a paint tin, just when you think it's shut, it's not really shut. So just, if you've got this kind of bin, just wait until you feel it sort of click down a bit. Here we go. We just don't want it all to spill out while we're rolling it around on the ground. Okay, so I'll take it to somewhere that works. Just give it a whiz around. It won't want to because it'll all be on one side. But yeah, just mix it up. And that's probably pretty well mixed now. Just have a quick look. Alright, so that doesn't smell great, but it's not supposed to at this stage. As you can see, the sugarcane mulch has stuck to the sides a little bit. I usually just give it a little bit more squirt, because after we put the sugarcane mulch in, we didn't spray it very much. I can see a caterpillar. Oh no, it's not a caterpillar. Oh, that's good. Did wonder that you might have lasted in there. It's a bit warm. Alright. No caterpillars in this mix, thankfully. So yeah, you just need all the mix you can down there, and it looks better. Does your compost have to look nice, you know? Probably not. But sometimes it makes it a little easier to look at. And push the lid down properly, which I can't do with one hand. So this is what I call number 3 bin, which is the closest to putting on the garden. It's getting there, it's getting there. So once all the bits are smaller, like the sugarcaney kind of bits that are there, it'll be ready to go out on the garden. But for now I'm just mixing and making sure it stays moist. Well, thanks for coming along with me today while I was doing my composting. Haven't really spent a lot of time on it lately, apart from adding things to one bucket. Just keep one bucket active and the other one almost done and one about to start, and yeah, or somewhere in between, and you'll be fine. As you can see, I made washing my priority this morning because it's going to be a beautiful day. Well, I hope you're having fun in your garden. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.